Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have seen several properties of Fourier transforms. We have also seen how we can find the Fourier transform of a derivative of a function. Okay. Now let us look at one problem. Here it is asked to find the Fourier cosine transform of the rth derivative of function f of x. Okay, so let us first read the statement. Let Fourier FCR alpha be the Fourier cosine transform of f r of x. This is the rth derivative of the function f of x, and fsr of alpha be the Fourier sine transform of rth derivative of function f of x. Okay, you are already familiar with this notation. We have already used such a notation for the Fourier transform, and now it is slightly modified by adding this c and s accordingly for the Fourier cosine transform and Fourier sine transform. Okay, so let this be the Fourier sine transform of f r of x, that is the rth derivative of function f of x. Then prove that fc2r alpha, okay, that means Fourier cosine transform of the 2rth derivative, that means the even, okay, like f double dash, f4 dash, okay. So the even derivative, this Fourier transform is equal to this expression. What is that? Minus summation n going from 0 to r minus 1 raised to n a, this is the subscript, that is 2r minus 2n minus 1 into alpha raised to 2n plus minus 1 raised to r alpha raised to 2r into Fourier cosine of alpha, Fourier transform. Okay, so what does this denote? This denotes the Fourier cosine transform of the function f of x. Let us start with the proof. So what we have said, let f c r of alpha be Fourier cosine transform of rth derivative of the function f of x, and let Fourier SR of alpha be Fourier sine transform of rth derivative of the function f of x. And we assume these two conditions, that is limit as x goes to infinity for this quantity is equal to 0. What is this? This is nothing but the r minus 1th derivative of f of x. Okay, and limit as x goes to 0 root of 2 by pi into this, that is the rth derivative, r minus 1th derivative of the function f of x is equal to some a r minus 1, this quantity. Okay, we have supposed that this limit is this quantity. Okay, and limit as x goes to infinity, it is going to 0. So under these assumptions we are going to derive the expression for this. By using the Fourier cosine transform formula, what we will have is Fourier cosine transform of this will be root of 2 by pi into integral from 0 to infinity rth derivative of f of x cos of alpha x into dx. If we use integration by parts, what we will get? Root of 2 by pi into r minus 1th derivative of f of x into cos of alpha x minus root of 2 by pi into integral from 0 to infinity r minus 1 f into derivative of this will be minus, so that minus into minus will become plus alpha into sine of alpha x dx. Okay, alpha x into dx. So if you see here this quantity, now we will have to use these assumptions. Okay, we want to evaluate this quantity limit as x goes to infinity, so that is going to 0. Okay, this is a bounded function. Okay, and hence by using this we will get this quantity goes to 0 for this limit, minus at 0 if we evaluate, what happens? This limit is given as, so cos of 0 is 1 and then this limit will be given as a r minus 1. So it will be minus, because at infinity it is 0, so minus a r minus 1. Okay. Plus, if I take this alpha outside, what we will get? Alpha into root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity, this is r minus 1th derivative of the function f of x into sine of alpha x dx. Okay, so what is this quantity? This is plus alpha into, this is the Fourier sine transform, it's the Fourier sine transform of this function, so it will be this r minus 1. Okay, so let us name this equation as 1. We might have to use it. Next, Fourier sine transform of alpha. Here we have evaluated Fourier cosine transform of this. Now let us evaluate what is this. Root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity rth derivative of the function, so I will write it like this, the function into sine of alpha x dx. When we use integration by parts, root of 2 by pi, it will be sine of alpha x integral from 0 to infinity minus integral from 0 to infinity into derivative of this, so it will be cos of alpha x into alpha into this dx. So what we get here is, again by using the assumptions that we have already said here, limit as x goes to infinity, it will go to 0. By using the same argument, at infinity it will go to 0 minus the limit of this at x equal to 0. Okay, so because sine 0 is 0 and this limit is ar minus 1, okay, what we will get is here 0. This is minus alpha into, I think I forgot this root of 2 by pi. Okay, so if you see what is this root of 2 by pi into this, if I remove this alpha, this is again Fourier cosine transform of alpha for r minus 1. Okay, now Fourier sine transform r of alpha is equal to minus alpha into this. Okay, so if we substitute this equation in this, what we will get is Fourier cosine transform. This equation is for Fourier cosine transform r of alpha. Okay, so r of alpha will be equal to minus a r minus 1 plus alpha into, what we will get here, see, Fourier sine r of alpha is minus alpha into Fourier cosine of r minus 1 of alpha. We want Fourier sine of r minus 1 of alpha. So this will be minus alpha into Fourier cosine 1 index less than this. So it will be r minus 2 of alpha. So that will give us minus a r minus 1 minus alpha square Fourier cosine of r minus 2 of alpha. Okay, and we can note this down. This is a recurrence relation. For this Fourier cosine r of alpha, this will be a recurrence relation. This is a recurrence relation. Okay, now in the question it is asked to generalize the formula. Okay, so see here, we want to generalize this formula. So before generalizing it, let us observe the pattern that is being followed here for the Fourier cosine transform. Consider this f Fourier cosine of alpha is equal to minus a r minus 1 minus alpha square into Fourier cosine transform of r minus 2 of alpha. Okay, now here this a r minus 1 minus alpha square into, we want to substitute for this. Okay, so what will be Fourier cosine of r minus 2 of alpha? This will be, you can see here, Fourier cosine of r is given by this. So Fourier cosine r minus 2 will be a, if it is r minus 2, this will become r minus 3 plus alpha into s of Fourier sine transform of r minus 2. We are calculating for r minus 2, so it will become r minus 3. Okay, so Fourier sine of r minus 3 of alpha. Okay, we want Fourier cosine of r minus 2. So if it is r minus 2 here, then it should be one index less. So it will be minus a r minus 3 plus alpha into Fourier sine of r minus 3 of alpha. And Fourier sine of r minus 3 of alpha is what? This quantity is what? Fourier sine of r is given by this. Okay, so Fourier sine of r minus 3 will be minus alpha into Fourier cosine of r minus 4 of alpha. Okay, So what we will get here is minus a r minus 3 minus this alpha into that alpha will become alpha square into Fourier cosine of r minus 4 of alpha. Okay, actually you could have written down the expression for this, that means this expression, directly by using this recurrence relation as well. Okay, but because we are calculating it for the first time, I actually showed you all how we get this expression. Okay, because this is a recurrence relation, now this relation will be followed accordingly for all the terms. You can use this and write for this, then again use it and write for the next term. Okay, so first let us write this. So this will be equal to minus a r minus 1 minus into minus plus alpha square a r minus 3 minus into minus, it will be plus alpha raised to 4 Fourier cosine of r minus 4 of alpha. Okay, so now again if we want to substitute, it will be a r minus 3 plus alpha raised to 4. Okay, we want to substitute for this quantity, so it will be minus a r minus 5. Okay, so r minus 5 minus alpha square into Fourier cosine of r minus 6 of alpha. Okay, by using this relation, recurrence relation, Fourier cosine of r of alpha is given by this. We want to find out Fourier cosine of r minus 4 of alpha. So accordingly, if I use this relation, we get this minus 1 index. So again, if I write it, how will it look like? Minus a r minus 1 plus alpha square a r minus 3 minus alpha raised to 4 a r minus 5 plus into minus again minus alpha raised to 6 Fourier cosine transform of r minus 6 of here this alpha. Okay, so now we can go on to generalize it for r of alpha will be equal to minus a r minus 1. Okay, so if you observe carefully this expression, okay, then this expression and this expression, you will, for the last terms, if you keep observing, it is r minus 2, r minus 4, r minus 6. Okay, every time whatever number is subtracted is the even number. Okay, so let us first write what will be the last term. Okay, so the last term will be, here it is minus alpha raised to 6 and it is minus alpha raised to 4, it is plus. Okay, alpha square, it is minus. So what will be the relation between, we will have to put minus 1 raised to something into alpha raised to something Fourier cosine of alpha. Okay, it will be, so depending upon whatever the value of r is, suppose if r was equal to 4, okay, then we would have got the expression till here, right? If the alpha was equal to 4, Fourier cosine. So it is r minus r till you get that r minus r, because ultimately what do we want? Fourier cosine of alpha. Okay, so for all the values of, for all these values we will get some derivative. Okay, Fourier cosine transform of some derivative of the function, but we want in the last term Fourier cosine transform of function f of x. Okay, we don't want Fourier cosine transform of derivative of f of x. Okay, so we will have to keep doing the process till you get r minus r here. Yes, so till you get r minus r, that will give us that general term. Okay, so when you get r minus r here, so this should be r minus r, and therefore this term will be Fourier cosine of alpha. Then what will be this? What powers this will have? From by observing these expressions we will come to know. This is alpha raised to 6. Okay, so if suppose let us come here, if suppose r was equal to 4, then you would have got plus alpha raised to 4. If r was 6, then it would be minus alpha raised to 6. So it is clear that it depends on whatever that r is, that you are getting here. Yes, and this sign is r by 2, so here r by 2 is 3, so we are getting negative. If it is odd multiple, not odd multiple I should say, so it is 2 into something. If that something is odd, you get negative here. If that something is even, you get positive here. So this should be r by 2. Okay, r by 2. If it is odd, we get odd, and then if it is even, we will get even number there. Now come, let's write what will be these terms. Okay, minus ar minus 1, I'll keep it separate, plus summation, let me vary it with some k going from 1 to, okay, so if suppose r was equal to 4, okay, then we would have got these terms. This term we have already generalized and written down. Okay, and there is no k running here, so this is outside the summation. Okay, now let us write for these terms, how these terms are varying. Okay, so here if suppose r was equal to 4, then we would have got this expression till here, and then what is this? It should be minus 1 raised to something into alpha raised to something, and this a of something. Okay, so this alpha will be, if you observe here, this is nothing but 2 times k. For this k equal to 1, here it is 2. Okay, here it will be k equal to 1, k equal to 2. So there will be 2 summands inside this summation. So this is equal to 2k. Yes, and this index for a will be r minus 3. Here there is only 1. If suppose r was equal to 6, it will be r minus 3, r minus 5. Okay, so the relation is r minus 2 into k plus 1. Okay, so for k equal to 1, what we will get? 3, r minus 3. For k equal to 2, we will get r minus 5, and accordingly. Okay, and this k should vary from where to where? If r was 6, then it should vary 2 to 4. That means it is varying only 2 times. Okay, if r was equal to 4, it is varying only 1 time. So the relation will be whatever r by 2 you get minus 1. Yes, and this will be, if it is 1 then you should get the opposite sign, so it is k plus 1. So what expression we are getting is FCR of alpha is equal to minus AR minus 1 plus summation k going from 1 to r by 2 minus 1 into minus 1 raised to k plus 1 into alpha raised to 2k a r minus 2k plus 1 plus, this is outside the summation sign, minus 1 raised to r by 2 into alpha raised to r, Fourier cosine of alpha. Okay, now easily we can check that this will satisfy the given equation in the question. Okay, wherein we have written down the equation for r even. Okay, so if that r is even, what will happen here? This r will look like something of the form 2 into s. Okay, so even if I use the same notation r here, what will happen? It will be 2r here. Okay, then you can put instead of r 2r in the full expression, and then you can observe that we will get the required relation. Okay, so what will happen is Fourier cosine of 2r of alpha will be minus a 2r minus 1 plus summation k going from 1 to r by 2, so 2r by 2 will be r minus 1 minus 1 raised to k plus 1 into alpha raised to 2k into a, here it is 2r minus 2k minus 1 plus minus 1 raised to 2r by 2, 2 if you cancel it's r. Okay, then alpha raised to 2r it will be, and Fourier cosine transform of alpha. Students, note that here we have proved the statement, or it is asked to find the expression only when this is the even number. Okay, and what we have got here is FC to R of alpha is equal to this. Okay, I have not written it down here, but if you write it properly with R, 2R replaced by 2R, you get the expression. Okay, and it is from n going from 0 to r minus 1. I have used the variable as k going from 1 to r minus 1, but if you combine this term inside, then you can easily write this in this form, that is k going from 0 to r minus 1. Okay, so this will give us the expression when that derivative is even. Okay, so we are talking about, okay, so we have derived the expression only when we want to find this f double dash, or maybe f4 dash, okay, or maybe f6, these even numbers. Now if the expressions are, or if the function is of this form, that means it is the only one derivative, or if it is the third derivative, or if it is the fifth derivative, and accordingly the odd numbers, then if you observe carefully the way how we have derived this expression, you will notice that this part will remain the same. That means this portion will remain the same till here. only the difference will be in this last term. Okay, and maybe you may have to no, even not, yes, only the difference will be in this last term. Okay, because what will happen is we have arrived at this expression, okay, by doing what? Every time when this is reduced, this index is reduced by 2, okay, it becomes r minus 4, and if you write this expression properly you get this. Okay, then again when this is reduced, it is reduced by 2, r minus 6, if you write it properly you get this. Okay, so accordingly you will keep doing, but because this is the odd number, what will happen is at the end, okay, when you subtract from r, when you subtract the greatest even number which is less than r, that answer will be equal to 1. Okay, so that 1 will remain there because you are subtracting the even number from this odd number. I am talking about the case when this r will be odd number. Okay, so when you subtract that 1 will remain, and instead of this you will get here 1 of alpha. That means cosine transform of f dash of x. Okay, that will be the last term. So if you observe this derivation properly and try to work it out, you will notice that these are remaining the same, that means the initial terms. Only for the last term what will happen is it will be fc1 of alpha, and there will be a change in power of this alpha. Okay, so if I was supposed to say, let us suppose say r is equal to 7. Okay, if r was 7, by the time we stop this process it will be r 7 minus 6. Yes, because if we go further then it would become 7 minus 8. We don't want negative, so it will be 7 minus 6. So when it is 7 minus 6, this power is equal to 6, right? And here I have written it directly as r, because that r was even, it worked out. Now if the r is odd, okay, for 7 how will you write this? So it will be r minus 1. Okay, so this power will be r minus 1. So you can observe here, if r was equal to 5, then we would have stopped at this expression. Okay, r minus 5 minus 4, because next is 5 minus 6 comes negative. So r 5 minus 4, so that 1 will remain there, and here it is alpha raised to 4, so it should be r minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4, which is the power that we want. Okay, and accordingly you can also check for the sign. I think the sign should remain, the sign will remain the same. Okay, so here it will be r minus 1 by 2. Yes, the sign will remain the same. So by using this you can also write it for the odd number, wherein that r, this is of the form 2r plus 1. Let us look at one more example. If the Fourier sine transform of f of x is given by this, then find what is f of x. Okay, so Fourier sine transform of alpha is given to us as alpha by 1 plus alpha square. Okay, so f of x, as per the formula, it will be, by the definition of inverse Fourier sine transform, root of 2 by 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity this f of alpha, that is alpha by 1 plus alpha square sine of alpha x into d alpha. Okay, so what we want to do here is we want to find out what is this f of x. Okay, so if we try to, so we will have to solve this. if I add and subtract 1, what will happen is alpha, but before that, if I want to relate it to this, I will have to multiply by alpha and divide by alpha. So multiply by alpha, divide by alpha, okay, and then if I add and subtract 1, so it will be alpha square plus 1 minus 1 into alpha into 1 plus alpha square sine of alpha x d alpha. So this will be root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity. This is alpha square plus 1 divided by alpha into alpha square plus 1 into this. So this will get cancelled and it will be left with sine of alpha x by alpha into d alpha minus root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity sine of alpha x d alpha. So it is divided by alpha into 1 plus alpha square. Okay, we have already seen that this integral is pi by 2 in one of the previous videos. While for solving the problem, we have evaluated after finding the Fourier transform by using inverse Fourier transform. We have evaluated this integral, and the value of this integral comes out to be equal to pi by 2. So this will be root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity sine of alpha x by alpha into 1 plus alpha square d alpha. Okay, and this is f of x. Now let's differentiate it with respect to x. So we will get f dash of x is equal to, this will become 0 minus root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity. We are differentiating it with respect to x. Okay, we want to differentiate this quantity with respect to x. Now see here, this is the function of inside alpha and x, and the integration is with respect to alpha. So by using the Leibniz rule, it will become the partial derivative of this with respect to x, and wherein that alpha will be treated as constant. So it will be alpha cos of alpha x alpha into 1 plus alpha square d alpha. Okay, so we will get this, which is equal to root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity cos of alpha x 1 plus alpha square d alpha. Okay, if we again differentiate, f double dash of x will be minus root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity, again by using Leibniz rule of for integration, for differentiation under the integral sign, what we will get is minus alpha sine of alpha x d alpha by 1 plus alpha square. Okay, so if I keep this minus, so this minus of minus, it will become plus. So this will be nothing but, again if you see, this is f. Okay, we have started with f, wherein what was f? Root of 2 by pi integral from 0 to infinity. It was f before multiplying and dividing by alpha. Okay, so that was alpha by 1 plus alpha square into sine alpha x d alpha. So this will be nothing but f again. So it is f of x, this full expression will be f of x, and this is f double dash of x. What will this give? F double dash of x minus that f of x is equal to 0, and we want to find out f of x. This is the second order differential equation. So, and with the constant coefficients. So we solve it by using the auxiliary equation. The corresponding auxiliary equation will be m square minus 1 equal to 0. So m is equal to plus or minus 1. So the solutions will be of the form e raised to x, e raised to minus x. So the general solution will be given, f will be c1 into e raised to x plus c2 into e raised to minus x. We need to find out what is the c1 and c2, and to do that we need the initial conditions. Okay, so at x equal to 0, what is f of 0? At x equal to 0, f of 0 will be so this f of x is equal to this, and we have found out the differential equation from this f of x. Okay, we have not initially started with this f of x and got the differential equation. Okay, so we have differentiated this f of x, that is after manipulating. So from this f of x we have got the differential equation. F of 0 will be what from here? It will be root of pi by 2. Okay, so this will be root of pi by 2. And f dash at 0 will be equal to root of 2 by pi minus sign minus root of 2 by pi into, so at 0 this will be 1 upon 1 plus alpha square d alpha, that is tan inverse. So if you evaluate, what you will get is, so tan inverse of infinity pi by 2, so it will be, yes, pi by 2, and this will come out to be equal to minus root of pi by 2. Okay, so now we have the two initial conditions and we have this solution, so we can find out c1 and c2. You will observe that if you put these initial conditions here and you differentiate, you will observe that c1 is equal to 0 and c2 is equal to root of pi by 2. Okay, and hence the function f of x will be equal to root of pi by 2 into e raised to minus x. Okay, so this is the function for which we get the Fourier transform which is given in the question.